You're old enough to finally get a job. But do you know how to get a job?
Hey, I'm Alex,
And I'm Philip.
and we teach you what you need to know about your personal finances using words you can understand without boring you to death.
Because adulting shouldn't suck. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Actually subscribe, because we love it when people subscribe, and that helps us help more people. So subscribe. In the comments below, let us know what age you plan on getting your first job.
In this video, we're going to talk about what you have to do in order to get a job while you're in high school. So, back when we were in high school, I was a cart boy. He was a burger flipper.
Actually, I was a cashier because I wasn't old enough to work the grill. So I couldn't flip any burgers.
Yeah. But we, even though we started out doing totally different things in high school, which were meaningless jobs back then, somehow we ended up at the same place at this point in our lives.
Crazy how life brings you together. Did you know that the unemployment rate among high school age kids is like crazy high? And it's not like the high school age kids' fault. I mean, they don't have a lot of work experience. There's not a lot of places out there hiring high school age kids. They're limited on what they could do at work, and they're limited on how many hours they can work. So, what do they expect? But if you are one of those people that are in high school and you're looking for work, there are some things that you can do to help get your application noticed.
First thing you want to do is check out the child labor laws for your state and find out how many hours you can work under the age of 18. So, for example, in Washington State, you can work, when school's out, you can work 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, up to 48 hours a week, like during the summertime. But while school's in session, you can only work 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, for a total of 20 hours a week, and it can't be while school's in session at all.
Yep. I mean, so when you're looking for a job, you're going to have to think about these type of things that could be limiting you on how much you can work, because that's obviously going to affect how much money you can make. So you want to know what you can do to see if it's even going to be beneficial for you to get a job while you're in high school below the age of 18.
No joke, though. While schools are on this hybrid mode right now, I see so many high schoolers in Arizona. They must have different state laws, by the way. But so many high schoolers working full-time and then just kind of doing their stuff online, which I don't know if that's legal or not, because I'm not really from here. I've only been here for a few months. But yeah, check your child labor laws. Every state is different. Okay, so once you figured out the child labor laws for your state, you're going to want to go and create a resume. And a resume isn't just for adults or for applying for real jobs. You're going to need a resume to submit with your application. And if you don't have any kind of work experience, you might have to get creative, right? Have you played in sports? Have you done any kind of volunteer work? Stuff like that. And you might have to fluff it a little bit. And a lot of employers are understanding of this stuff because they know that you're young and you don't have the experience that older people will.
Yeah, so like you said, you're going to want to create a resume, even if you don't have job experience. It's going to show the employers that you're serious about getting a job. You're going to list things on your resume, like you said, your hobbies, your education, your strengths, any sort of volunteering that you've done. And this is going to show the employers what type of student you have been and whether or not they want to hire you.
If you need help writing a resume, you can ask your parents, you can talk to your guidance counselors. But honestly, these people probably haven't had to make a resume in a long time. And the world has changed a lot, even in the last 5 or 10 years from when we were a lot younger than we are now. But honestly, online is a spot to go for online resources. Places like canva.com have awesome templates that you can make a resume, and they look good. And they have to be visually appealing on top of, having good content in it. So canva.com, great spot to go if you're looking for something, good templates. Now, in addition to a resume, you're going to want to have letters of recommendation. And you can't go wrong when you're trying to oversell yourself to an employer. So most people don't even have a resume. And then on top of that, having the letters of recommendation is going above and beyond, right? So you're talking getting letters from coaches, previous people you might have done work for, anything you volunteered for. Those people writing you letters of recommendation is going to look really good to future employers.
You're selling yourself, why should they hire you over that other person that's applying for the job? So, if you got all this extra stuff to add in to addition with your resume, with your application, like the resume or the letter of recommendation, good work. Now, it's time to start looking for a job. When you're doing this, you're going to want to start your job search close to home. If you don't have a car, it's going to be easy for you to get to and from work if it's within walking distance. Then, even if you do have a car, you're going to save a lot of time and money if you don't have to commute far to work. And let's say you want to pick up a random shift, you know, it's going to be easy for you to get there if you only have to drive a couple minutes to get to work. So, pro tip.
When you're looking for jobs, you're probably going to have to apply online and in person. So when you're applying for online jobs, you're going to go to websites like Indeed.com or Monster.com, and that's where you're going to have the most success typically to apply for the most jobs in the shortest amount of time. But if you're applying in person at places that are small businesses or you're living in a small town, then that might be more successful for you, or you might have more success doing it that way. And actually turning in a good looking resume goes a long way with a small employer.
Oh, yeah. Like, even if they don't have a position available for you, but you turn in a rock star application with an awesome resume and sweet letters of recommendation, they'll probably hire you and make a position for you just because of your application. It's like...
True story.
Yeah. When you're applying for jobs, you're going to want to apply for a lot of different jobs. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, and you should keep an open mind. You're likely not going to get that first job that you applied for. I mean, I did, but let's be real. Working at a fast food joint was not like my dream job when I was a kid, but it gave me what I wanted, which was money.
And let's be real, this isn't going to be your forever job. It's a place where you can get some experience and you can move on, right? Make a little bit of money, maybe save a little bit of money, and then hopefully take those skills and go on to a bigger and better job for your next job where you can make more money, right? So you're constantly adding value to yourself by developing new skills. So when you go to a job interview, don't look busted, right? Don't show up in sweats and flip-flops. Try to dress for success. Whatever you have that's the best thing you can wear, I would wear that, right? If you got slacks and a button-up if you're a dude or, you know, whatever, I would wear that over jeans and some tennis shoes, right? But do the best you can. Everybody's in different spots where they're starting out. So on top of that, when you're showing up just to get the applications, look professional, all right? Because that they might hire you on the spot. I don't know. Depends on if they really need somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you make a good first impression, it goes a long way.
Yep. I mean, you might walk in there, ask for an application, and the owner of that store might be there and be like, hey, do you have time for an interview right now? And then if you're in sweats and slippers, I mean, you don't want to have your first job interview or your first impression with that employer to be you and looking like you just rolled out of bed.
So while that sounds like, oh, isn't that a nice idea if that actually happened? It happened to me when I was in college. I was applying as a kayaking guide on the Colorado River, and I walked into the shop and I asked the owner, hey, if you're looking for any kayaking guides, I'd love to apply. And sat down for an hour, had an interview, walked out with a job.
Right there. Bam.
That's the only time it's ever happened, but it did happen.
Yep. So be ready. When you're applying for these jobs, you're going to want to keep a list of all these places that you're applying. After about a week of you applying at a place, you're going to want to call them if they haven't already called you to kind of see what's up with your application. All you got to do is call them and be like, hi, my name is so-and-so. Is the manager available? And then they're going to be like, hi, I'm the manager. You're going to be like, awesome. I dropped off an application, last week, and I'm just wondering on the status of that application. And it typically looks really good on you for following up with your application, and that shows the employers that you are serious about getting a job.
Mm-hmm. It shows you're more responsible to actually follow up too, which is a thing that most people don't do. And one of the benefits of following up is you're going to find out what the current status of your application is. Have they already filled the position, right? And they're no longer hiring? Are they setting up interviews? In that case, they might set up an interview right then or let you know when they're going to reach out to you. But regardless, you want to know what the status is so you're not just sitting around waiting, right? And then on top of that, going beyond this, you're going to want to volunteer because volunteering shows that you go above and beyond what everybody else is doing, right? Instead of like sitting around, hanging out, playing video games, chilling. You're actually out doing things, trying to improve yourself and maybe the people around you. And then you can put that on a future resume and it looks good all around.
Yeah. Don't sit around waiting for a job to come to you. You got to go find that job, all right? Just because your buddy over there got offered a job doesn't mean that you're going to get offered a job, so go find that job, okay?
I know everybody wants equality, right? But when it comes to getting jobs, it's not an equal opportunity situation for everybody. You got to beat out everybody else in order to get that job. And when there's high unemployment rates, you got to do everything you can to be the best version of you on paper, right? So if you have to get job experience and write your resume and get letters of recommendation from all the people and then go volunteer at 1, 2, or 3 places in order to get a job, maybe that's what you have to do in order to beat out somebody else, right? He's younger than me. He's beat me out on promotion in the military numerous times and got promoted earlier than me, right? dude's a freaking stud. Works his butt off.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. If you like this video, hit that like button. And like we already said, don't forget to subscribe. Been getting a lot of comments from people saying that they love our channel and they love what we do. So show us the love with that subscribe button. In the comments below, let us know what you want for your first job.
And share this video with your friends.